Welcome children in the second class of Motions of the Earth. In our previous class you have learnt about the first motion of the Earth, rotation, its characteristics and its effect. So children, in this video we will learn about the second motion of the Earth, revolution, its characteristics and its effects. So what is a revolution? Revolution is the second motion of the Earth. The annual movement of the Earth around the Sun along a fixed orbit or path is called revolution. The Earth revolves along its orbit of approximately 965 million km length at a speed of 29.6 km per second. So how long it takes the Earth to complete one rotation? The Earth takes 365 days, 5 hours, 48 minutes and 48 seconds approximately. It takes 365 days plus 6 hours to complete one rotation. So if 1 year has 365 days plus 6 hours, then why do our calendar have 365 days? So children, where those extra 6 hours goes? So the answer is the extra 6 hours keep getting added and after 4 years they become a day. As 6 hours into 4 is equal to 24 hours and 24 hours make 1 day. So that 1 day is added to the month of February. Thus, we have a year with 366 days in every 4 years. Such a year is called a leap year. For example, the year 2016 was a leap year. After 4 years, 2020 is a leap year. Now, can you guess when we will again experience a leap year? Right, the year 2024 again will be a leap year. So what is a leap year? A leap year is a calendar year having 366 days. The one extra day is added to the month of February, making it 29 days. Children, the earth has two apsides, the farthest point and the nearest point. The farthest point is known as aphelion and the nearest point is known as perihelion. As you know now, the shape of the paths taken by planets to revolve around the Sun is elliptical. And as you can see, the distance between the Sun and the Earth is not always same. Thus, perihelion is the point in the elliptical orbit of a planet, etc., where it is nearest to the Sun. It occurs on 3rd January every year. On this day, the distance between the Earth and the Sun is 147 million km. And aphelion is the point in the elliptical orbit of a planet, etc., where it is farthest to the Sun. It occurs on 4th July every year. On this day, the distance between the Sun and the Earth is 152 million kilometers. Now let's know about the effects of Earth's revolution. As you know now children, the Earth revolves around the Sun in its orbit in an anti-clockwise direction, which takes 365 days and 6 hours. Revolution of the Earth causes the phenomenon of the seasons or changes in the seasons. We have 4 seasons on the Earth. The 4 seasons are summer, autumn, winter and spring. Seasons are different in northern and southern hemispheres. This happens for 2 reasons. The first reason is the Earth is tilted on its axis. And the second reason is the Earth revolves around the Sun throughout the year and thus causes changes in the seasons. because sometimes the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun and southern hemisphere is tilted away from the sun, and sometimes the southern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun and the northern hemisphere is tilted away from the sun. Throughout the year, the earth is exposed to the sun on either its northern hemisphere or its southern hemisphere. This means when the northern hemisphere points towards the sun, it receives more sunlight and heat. That means it is summer season in the northern hemisphere, while southern hemisphere experiences winter because southern hemisphere receives less sunlight and heat compared than northern hemisphere. And vice versa, when the northern hemisphere points away from the sun, the southern hemisphere gets more sunlight and experiences summer, and the northern hemisphere experiences winter. So children, when do we experience spring and autumn seasons then? Spring is a transition period from winter to summer, and autumn is a transition period from summer to winter. Here you can see it's winter in the northern hemisphere and it is pointing away from the sun. But the earth is continuously revolving around the sun and winter changes to spring. Then comes summer as the northern hemisphere is now pointing towards the sun and closer to the sun. And summers followed by autumn, and in India it is called rainy seasons also, as summer brings monsoon with it. And again after autumn, winter comes, and this phenomenon of seasons continues again and again every year after year. So I hope children, you all have understood now how do seasons occur. Now let's move to the very important topic of this chapter, solstice and equinox. Children, we know this now. The tilting of the axis result in direct sunlight falling on different places during different seasons. This causes variation in the days, nights and season. The revolution of the earth and the tilting of the axis results in different locations of the overhead sun. This results in the variation in the amount of sunlight and heat received in different areas and different periods. When there are changes in seasons, so there would be changes in the patterns of the sunlight too. Summer and winter have a main point. This main point is called solstice. Summer solstice and winter solstice. Summer solstice is referred to as the longest day and the shortest night of the year. On this day, the day hours are maximum and night hours are minimum. The winter solstice is referred to as the longest night of the year and the shortest day of the year. So let's learn about each one by one. The first day of the season of summer, that is June 21st in northern hemisphere, when the sun's rays fall vertically over the Tropic of Cancer. It is the longest day and shortest night for all places in the northern hemisphere. So, in the northern hemisphere during the summer months, mainly in the month of June, we have very long days and short nights because in the northern hemisphere, the earth is tilted towards the sun, as you can see here, and the sun's rays fall directly on the Tropic of Cancer, and the regions lying near the tropics receive more heat as compared to the areas near the poles, because near the poles the sun rays are slanting. As you can see here, the North Pole is inclined towards the Sun. Thus, the places between the North Pole and Arctic Circle experience continuous daylight for a period of 6 months. This situation is termed summer solstice, as the northern hemisphere experiences summer season. Interestingly, when the northern hemisphere experiences summer solstice, the situation is reversed in the southern hemisphere, where it is experiencing winter season with shorter days and longer nights. Now, what is winter solstice? On December 22nd, the northern hemisphere is tilted away from the sun and the sun's rays fall vertically on the Tropic of Capricorn because the southern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun. Now, the southern hemisphere receives more heat and experiences summer, whereas the northern hemisphere is now having winter season. The northern hemisphere will have shorter days and longer nights. As you can see here, the places between the Arctic Circle and North Pole will experience 6 months of night. This position is called the winter solstice because the northern hemisphere has winter and has shorter days and longer nights. Now, let's move to our next topic. What are equinoxes? Equinoxes are moments when day and night are of equal length. They occur twice a year. Equinox happen when the sun is exactly above the equator. On 2 days in a year, on March 21st and September 23rd, the sun shines directly over the equator at angle of 90 degrees. These days are known as equinoxes. March 21st is spring equinox and September 23rd is autumn equinox in the northern hemisphere. Whereas March 21st is autumn equinox and September 23rd is spring equinox in the southern hemisphere. Children, have you realized that the tilted of Earth's axis is so important for us? Because if the Earth's axis was not inclined or tilted, there would be no seasons. So before ending the video, let's recall the important key points of today's class.